Today's session of Visual JForex, we will be continuing to work with the indicator named Ehler-Fisher transform. This is the second part, and today the focus is going to be on the completing the conditions for the execution of the buy trade. So now let us go to the Visual JForex board. The development so far includes this instrument subscription. The default instrument is being matched with the instrument of choice, which is Euro USD. Then the position amount was defined at 0. I got this EF transform, the Ehler feature transform indicators with different look back period. All other inputs are the same hourly, and there is a time period of 10. The only difference is this shift 1, 2, and 10. Then to look at the price volatility, we are also taking the help of get historical candle and get historical candles. 4 candle amount is 4. So we will be taking this and looking at the price volatility. And to pinpoint the exact entry point, these 10-second candles will come handy. Here, these 4 calculation expression blocks have been used to define the certain requirements. We have defined these 20 pips minimum difference and the actual difference between the high and low, and we will compare it with this minimum requirement. Similarly, this difference between the candle open and candle close is considered in two different scenarios. When the closing is higher than the opening, in that kind of scenario we will be looking at the subtracting the value of the opening price from the closing price, and this is going to happen when the momentum is on the buy side and the prices are on the rise. And when the momentum is bearish, we will have to reverse the condition and deduct the candle closing price from the candle open, and this is going to be the difference when we will be looking to place the sale trade. So now we have to build on this and add the conditions which will help us in finding the opportunities to profit whenever the momentum is bearish. I will give you a brief refresher on the conditions for the execution of the trade. And now that the focus is on the buy side, I will explain to you only the buy side of the equation. So somewhere here, let us see if this time the condition will be fulfilled or not. The signal line is below 0, and we need both the lines, Fisher line as well as the signal line, above 0. And so this time around the condition won't be fulfilled. And here also the crossover is happening after the correction has happened, and both these lines, Fisher lines and EF transform lines, are in negative territory. So there also no trading will take place, and we will have to keep searching for the, I think somewhere here Fisher line is higher than the signal line, so maybe this time around the condition will be fulfilled. And we also have to go 10 hours back in time and then see whether these output values are above, sorry, the values, output values 10 hours back should be below the output values 1 hour back. So we have to compare, and I think this fits the bill. So this kind of scenario, we will be looking at the price volatility also. And if that condition is satisfied, I think the buy trade will be placed with the stop loss and target price becoming based on whatever is the actual price volatility. So we will be looking at last hour's closing and opening difference. The candle should have closed higher, and whatever is the closing price difference from the opening price, we will take that and place the order 50% below from the last tick price, and the actual difference will be kept as the stop loss and twice of it as the target price with order validity of 1 hour. So that is going to be the setup for the execution of the buy trade. So now we head back to the Visual JForex board, and as I explained to you, the requirements are fairly simple, and all that needs to be done is to bring in the if blocks, and later on we will have to define the stop loss and target price, and also order validity, and entry point will also need to be defined. So we will need calculation expression block, but for the time being we will start defining the conditions of the crossover using the if lines, if blocks. And once we are done with this and bring in the trade command block, at that point in time we will bring in the calculation expression and define the variables. Okay, so here last hour's Fisher 11 line would be above the signal line 11, first input greater than second input, and in the penultimate hour Fisher line should have been below the signal line. So first input less than second input, and Fisher 11 should be greater than Fisher 16. This is the output value 10 hours back, shift is 10. So first input again greater than second input, and signal line 11 greater than signal line 16. So first input greater than second input, and also as I explained to you while looking at the chart, we also have to consider these outputs in comparison to 0, and both these outputs should be above 0. So we need to compare Fisher 11 with 0, and it should be in positive territory. So again first input greater than second input, and signal line 11 should also be above 0. First input greater than second input. Okay, then we will consider the price volatility, and the difference between the high and low should be greater than this minimum price difference, 20 pips. First input greater than second input. We also have to make sure that last hourly closing price is above its opening price. So we have to consider candle 17, candle close, and candle open. Candle 17 candle close is greater than candle 17 candle open. First input greater than second input. Okay, an order will be placed whenever we see the price rising above the last hourly close. So we have to compare candle 20 and candle 21 closing price with candle 17 close. So we need one more block. and take candle 17 close as the common input. Candle 20 has the look back period of 1, whereas candle 21 has the look back of 2. That means the last 10-second candle should have closed higher, whereas this candle 21 should have closed lower. That will give us the idea that the price is now rising above the last hour's candle close. So we need this to be less, first input less than second input, and after that candle 20 candle close should be greater. So first input greater than second input. And with this we have defined the logical conditions. Now we have to bring in the trade command block, and this time around we are going to place a pending order, not a market order, and this is going to be a limit order, buy limit. That means it is going to be below the current market price. So first input greater than second input. Now coming to this trade command block, we have to define its input values. The buy price needs to be defined, slippage, default instrument is going to remain as it is. I will change this trade amount to 0.1 million. Slippage is going to be 2 pips. Stop loss and take profit is going to be dependent on these calculations. We simply have to multiply these calculations by the pip conversion factor. Euro USD has 4 decimal points, so we have to multiply it by 10 raised to the power 4. So I will remove this, both the variables, and also the order validity is going to be defined with time fixed at 1 hour. Order validity will be 1 hour. Now let us arrange these if blocks. Okay, this is where it all started. I will join it here, and later on, once we have defined the variables using calculation expressions, we will join it to the multiple action. Now coming to the variables for this create command block, we will start by defining one by one. First is the entry point, entry price, and entry price is going to be below the last tick price, and that will be 50% below 50% of these last hour's candle close and candle open difference, and we will deduct that result from the last tick price. So we have to consider fresh calculations now. Actual difference between the closing and opening price, and I will multiply it with new variable EF, and its value will be 0.5. A1 into A2 and this will be by entry difference. New calculation expression block needs to be taken. Now whatever is the last tick price, we will consider last tick bid and deduct this output BED, and this is going to be our execution point, execution price. Okay. Oh, here I forgot. It should be A1 minus A2. Okay. Now let me put this output where it belongs. Okay, one variable is defined. Now comes the question of stop loss and target price. For stop loss and target price, again we are going to rely on this calculation of the difference of last hour's candle close and candle open. So we take that difference and multiply it with pip conversion factor. I will create a new variable here. Its output will be 10 raised to the power 4. It is going to be A1 into A2. And I will create a variable here. And it's going to be assigned to this calculation expression block. So here we have defined this. Now one more calculation needs to be done. New variable will need to be created. I will name it profit conversion factor. Its start value will be 2. A1 into A2 and this new variable will be assigned here in this block. I think someone in my neighborhood is playing songs too loud, so that is the background noise. I'm sorry for that. Now, last variable needs to be defined, the order validity, and for that, again, new calculation expression block needs to be taken. Order validity is going to be 1 hour, so we need to take new variable and its value is going to be 3.6 million ticks. We will add it to the last tick time. I will name it TT. Start value is going to be 3.6 million. Yes, I hope I got it right. There is going to be A1 plus A2. I will name it OVT. So with this, we have defined all these input values which are essential while placing the order. And now I will join this calculation expression to multiple action block and color code it to see whether it is providing the iteration flow in the very end. Yes, it is. So this is the setup for the execution of the buy trade. I hope you have been able to understand the requirements and why it has been designed the way it has been designed. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write to me in the feedback section and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. See you next time. Till then, goodbye.